My racing moment on Off the Ball.
And they're off.
Brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Share every racing moment. Visit hri.ie.
We're going to go straight over to Cheltenham now, where Rachel Blackmore has created more history. The record-breaking Rachel Blackmore winning the Gold Cup in Absolute Tard. But every other race so far has gone to Willie Mullins, with one more to come. Patrick Mullins rode Bill away in the Fox Hunter Chase. And I imagine, Patrick, that was a ride that gave you immense satisfaction.
It did. I had to take a deep breath afterwards. I was fairly out of breath. It was hard work, but we got there in the nick of time. I've been beaten in 2 photo finishes here before, so I know how Barry O'Neill feels, and it's great to come out the right side of it, but you'd rather do it to someone you don't know. Yeah,
it was a kind of a hashtag never in doubt type race, was it?
Never in doubt. No, look, he didn't. We put cheap pieces on him to help him travel, but he didn't travel like he could, and he didn't jump like he could. Now, on the last lap, I kept the revs up at every fence, and he's came for me, but it's been an effort at every fence. And usually he has more scope than that, but he was just tough. He stayed, and just thought I had a half a chance turning in, and still had a half chance down to the last, and we just got there. Thankfully.
It was obviously a totally different experience to Facile Vega winning the bumper on Wednesday, but what was that experience like in your head when you get up pretty much on the line in a race like that at Cheltenham?
Oh, look, it was desperate. I was you're trying to jump the last, and I was trying to keep him straight. I could see where Barry was, and I was changing my stick, and I wasn't sure where the line was, which is unusual. Usually you know exactly where the line is, but I didn't know I'd won until I was looking up the big screen, thinking, please God, don't let me have lost another photo finish. And luckily we got the result. And to come down on a winning favourite in Cheltenham makes a huge difference. The crowd are much more
appreciative.
Yes, yeah.
Just to go through the results prior to that, Vauban, Stateman, The Nice Guy, Billaway and Ellie May winning all the races bar the Gold Cup for your dad. What has this been like for the yard? So many people involved, and for your dad specifically.
It's just an incredible day. The day you dream of. The first day it took us to the last race to get a winner, and you're thinking, gee, after you got beaten the Arsenal and Supreme and Appreciated blew out, you're thinking, this might go the way you're hoping. But for the finish like this, but look, we have a fantastic team at home. We've Dick Dowling, Rachel Robbins, Virginia Vasco, Dave Porter, and my mother Jackie does a great job. David Casey, Ruby Walsh. Like, Willie does a lot, and he gets the owners in, and Pierre and Harold buy the horses. But there's a fantastic backup team in Close Sutton, and they deserve it.
I guess the first place to start is Vauban in the Triumph. It was a performance that I guess was expected by the market, but what a turn of foot he shows.
4-1. Look, he's got huge speed, huge ability. We'd like to think he could be a Melbourne Cup horse in the future, but I imagine we'll try and make him a good champion hurdler first. But there's definitely room for improvement still with him, and he's very, very exciting and great to get one for Rich. He's put a lot into it. He's been around for a long time. Those jump owners don't always stick around for more than 8 or 10 years, so he deserves everything he gets.
And your dad has kind of made this plan now with 5-year-olds, horses that are likely race going for the county hurdle, and Stateman won like a lovely horse as well.
Stateman, yes. Look, in another year, if it went differently, he'd have been running in the Supreme, but he didn't get to come out at Christmas with the dry autumn. Then he fell, so plans had to get changed. On his work at home, he could have taken his place in the Supreme. Now, whether he had beaten Constitution Hill would be very doubtful, but we were hoping his class would be able to overcome his inexperience, and Paul gave him a ride that negated his inexperience, I think.
Yeah, and just a nice guy then in the Albert Bartlett. It's obviously a race that's badly marred by the injury suffered by Ginto. What was that experience? Somebody has to win, but I suppose it was just one of those races in the week that was kind of tough to watch.
Yes, I pulled up on Classic Getaway. It was very disappointing. To lose a horse like Ginto is a huge blow, and it looked very exciting. You know what that feeling is like, bringing an empty bridle back home. It's not nice. So, but it was great for Sean O'Keefe to get his first Cheltenham winner, or to get another Cheltenham winner. And I think Malcolm Denmark hadn't had one in 21 years, I think he was saying. So, fantastic for him, but not in the circumstances that you'd enjoy most, perhaps.
So Rachel Blackmore, I mean, if racing needed a bit of a PR boost last year, Rachel Blackmore was there in her heroics at Aintree and Cheltenham. But what about that performance? You're very good friends with her. What about that performance of Aplutard in terms of the horse, the rider, and Rachel herself in the Gold Cup, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to ask her how she got beaten up last year. But,
to be fair, she did blame herself for getting them beaten in a Leopardstown at the very least.
I think, I think the race worked out perfectly for her. There was no obvious pace on paper. There ended up being no obvious pace, and all the slow stayers got beat by a horse that was able to win a 2-mile Grade 1 chase, beating Chacon Persois. So I think Rachel would have been very happy all the way around, but she didn't panic, and she did everything right, like she always does.
Yeah, and in terms of the boost that racing's image gets from this, she'll be plastered all over the papers, all over the world. It's not a bad thing for the PR game.
No, but look, I don't see the female thing because I spent my career trying to get Katie Walsh's job offer and then trying to beat Nina Carberry and then seeing Rachel do what she's doing. So it's fantastic, but we've always seen that girls and women are well able to do it.
But I guess it is inspiring for young girls who want to get into not alone racing but sport to see Rachel Blackmore win the Gold Cup by 15 lengths.
Yeah, and without doubt. And look, Lizzie Kelly was winning handicaps here. She won Grade 1. Bryony Frost won the King George and Tingle Creek and the Ryanair. Lucy Alexander was champion conditional in England. Bridget Andrews had Cheltenham winners. There's lots of role models for them.
And what have you made of the week in general? It was kind of, I guess, it was strange in the sense of the rain that came on Wednesday after they'd watered the ground, but it didn't stop Facile Vega winning. I got to talk to you about that. How good could this son of Vega be?
He just could be anything. He has the looks, he has the pedigree, he has the performance. And very special for Sonny Vega to come back. Makes everything very, very special. And that stuff like that doesn't happen. Cheltenham, as Michael Leary plays, is not a place for fairy tales as much as we would like it to be. And he could be a fairy tale.
Were you worried about the ground? Because it probably looked worse maybe than it was on TV, and I know there was a delay to the race, but even your dad seemed to express a bit of concern about it.
I wasn't worried about the ground. So we had that ground at home all the time, and he's a fine big horse. He goes round our gallop. But no, I wasn't worried.
Well, listen, safe flight. Have a good time with the owners, and congratulations on Billaway.
Great. Thanks very much, Johnny. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Patrick Mullins. My Racing Moment is brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Share every racing moment. Visit hri.ie or follow Horse Racing Ireland on social media.